I want it all, no less. So come on.
All right.
Got
Good.
it.
All right. So Jonathan Loew, 2022 NCAA All-American from Cornell University at 184 pounds. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. What got you started in wrestling in the first place?
I mean, I just tell everyone that I was like born and bred into the sport because I mean my father did it. And then both my older brothers, one's 8 years older than me and the other is 6 years older than me. So they both did it. So I mean, when I was just born and didn't really have a choice. So I would be going to all their practices, and I mean I loved it from the beginning. So from like being around like all their tournaments and practices, that's how I kind of like got involved into the sport. And I mean ever since then. So
Oh, wow. So do you think that having brothers helped you out because down the line, like each brother got a little bit better?
um I mean, everyone always says like, "Oh, the youngest is always going to be the toughest." I think that it definitely helped being able to watch both of my brothers go through it, like everything going from like high school tournaments to like choosing colleges to like after college life. I think having like both of them before me definitely helped, not only for me but also like my parents with like because it's a team thing. It's not like all by myself. It's my parents are also helping a big part. So definitely helping it. My two older brothers, it definitely helped me and also my parents. Um, I think also, I mean, also just like it is like corny, but like being the youngest brother, like you have the two older brothers beating up on you the whole time, and then when you're finally like their size, like it just having them pick on you, it just makes you tougher. So
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
yeah.
So, like, were your dad or your brothers anywhere near as good as you wound up getting?
I think honestly, both of I mean, my dad was tough. He wrestled in college. I think he wrestled at like, I know Brooklyn. He said Syracuse. He kind of bounced around. Um, but I don't know too much about his wrestling career. I know he was tough though. He wrestled in college. He wrestled like we're at some tournaments. He's telling me that he wrestled like Jeff Blatnick one time. He's like, oh, Blatnick sent me for flying lessons. So he's wrestled his fair share of studs, and he's he definitely knows what he's talking about in the sport. Like I'll still like when I'm breaking down like a guy that's supposed to wrestle, like I mean obviously I go through my coaches first, but he's someone that I definitely go to and I ask like, what do you think? Like, what is he looking to do? What should I be trying to do? So he's I mean, since I was really young and still, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And I mean, for both my brothers, they were studs. My middle brother, Chris, the one that's 6 years older than me, he I mean, he never got to make it to the States. I think he would have been probably in the finals his senior year, or he would have been like top three, I think. But he kind of he never quite made it there. But he did wrestle like freestyle and Greco, and he wasn't scared to like do any of those. And I think he ended up taking seventh at Fargo his senior year. So I mean, he was tough. He just went to every tournament, really high wrestling IQ. Um, Loves the sport. And then my older brother Matt, he was really tough. He placed in Fargo a bunch of times, Virginia Beach, like all these national tournaments in high school. And he actually his senior year, he took second in the states twice in New York States, obviously. And his senior year, he actually like was in this program where he kind of like graduated early from high school, and after like the states in like March, he went to Colorado in the Olympic Training Center, and he got to train there till like August, to when he had to report to college. So I mean, they were all like studs in their own rights, but I definitely think like having all of them behind me, it definitely made me a better wrestler. Than like if they weren't like if I didn't have them. So
Wow. So, like, early on in your wrestling career, like, how were things?
um I mean I feel like I kind of picked it up quicker just because I was like around the sport so much versus someone like who didn't have like who's like the first wrestler in their family, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I probably learned things a lot faster just because like I'm always watching the sport, like I'm always watching my older brothers wrestle, and I'm like we're a wrestling family, so it was it was just like in my mind more than like if you're trying to like be the first wrestler in your family.
So when do you feel that you started to actually establish yourself? Was it like early on? Was it middle school? Was it high school?
I feel like I was like I feel like when I was younger, I definitely had a lot of success. And we Wantagh had like a really tough like youth program, and me and like a whole bunch of other studs, we kind of went up and we came up through that program, and I think we all did really well. Probably around like my earlier years of high school, I think I struggled a little bit. I think it was just like growing pains because I was like I've always wrestled like my first 2 years in high school, or of high school competition. I was actually in middle school, seventh and eighth grade. Um, but those first 2 years, I was actually at 99 pounds. Um, so I was always like a little guy, but like my family is like they're pretty big people. So
Yeah.
when I was actually like growing and kind of maturing, I was kind of like in those awkward stages, I guess, in like ninth and 10th grade, probably even 11th grade. But I think probably by the time I was like a junior, I felt like I was starting to get like a little bit of like man strength, maybe not man strength, but just like maturing a little bit and kind of like growing into my body. So that's when I felt like I kind of started to hit my stride. Probably I'd say junior year of high school.
Now, how did you get so tall? I'm hearing 99 pounds, and then you became like what, 6'5"?
I honestly, I was always like I was probably like 6 foot or close to 6 foot when I was 99 pounds. I was always like really like a string bean, just
How
always
are
really
you?
tall.
Wait. How is that healthy? What? How are you 99 pounds? You're
I
6 feet.
don't I don't know. I probably gained like a few more inches throughout high school, but I mean, if just ask anyone like who knew me when I was 99 pounds, I was like pretty close. I was pretty tall. I was a pretty long, lanky 99 pounder. So yeah, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. Like when you're like riding people like top and bottom. Also just like even if you're shooting, like you could be a lot further away and just got long arms and get to those legs a lot easier. So
Yeah, like everybody's probably up to your knee or something. Like
yeah,
it's
so
insane.
it definitely a big advantage.
But did you ever like wrestle anybody your height in high school?
Um, High school, I mean, there were some lanky guys. Like there was these twin brothers from like Lindenhurst were like tall. Probably some other like long guys here and there. But actually in college, I wrestled like when I got to college, they had like Cornell had we had Darmstadt at 97.
Yeah.
And he worked with me a lot in the room, and he's actually taller than me. He's like 6'5", I want to say. I think he'll say 6'4", but there's no way. He's 6'5". He's a long dude. So he was showing me a lot of cool tricks on top and with the legs, and it really affected my top wrestling a lot. So that definitely helped wrestling with Darmy.
Hmm. Now talk about why Long Island is so good on top, because it's like once you guys throw the legs in, that's the end of the match.
Um, well, Long Island, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I mean I feel like I'm not sure about Long Island, but I know the Wantagh program they work a lot with we call it like the griff tilt because of like a former Hofstra wrestler, he would do it a lot. But we call it a griff. It's kind of like a 2-on-1 where you kind of just like throw your head in there and you tilt the guy. So we've been working it a lot, and that's what the coaches show. And a lot of Wantagh guys will do that. And I think we had one of the guys on when I was a seventh grader. One of the guys, I think he has like the most techs ever. He had like some sort of national record for like tech falls. Like he just tilt machine. He'd go out and tech fall everyone. Vinny Turano. We also had Chris Araz, who was also a tilt machine. So a lot of Wantagh guys. We like the tilts, and I mean top is where we make a lot of our money. So
Yeah, and talk more about the Wantagh program, because it's like they've always been very good. Even still, after you left, they've been very good. And it was
yeah,
like while we were in high school, it was like you and Justin Vines are like,
yeah. I mean, well, you got like it starts with the leadership. So you kind of got like you got Coach Gillespie and Coach Jones. It's like such a combo there. And then you got Ray Hanley Sr., who's like we call him the Godfather, and his son Hanley Jr. He's also helps run the program very effectively. Also Todd Bloom. He's always on the mat, showing technique, and the crap out of all the lighter guys and even some of the middleweights. So we have very strong coaching staff, and then just like a really good team culture. Like I said, like the youth program. A lot of the guys that were on like my senior year that were on that team when we won the state title in 2018. They were the same guys who came up with me like when we were in like 5th grade. So like we stuck together and we went to tournaments, and I think that's like a big reason why why we were so effective and why we had so much success later in those high school years.
And talk about like you and Justin Vines. It seems like you guys are like the best of friends, like intertwined, like as a
I mean,
part of
I
that team. Like
love
you guys are
Justin.
at the
Yeah.
like you guys are like the main, tag team
since
there.
probably since like middle school, we go to like we'd hop in the car and my dad would just drive us to I know other people come of course, but we go to like Virginia Beach, Northeast Regionals, Eastern State, like all these tournaments. So like we tried to get as many matches in the off season as we could possibly get. So I mean Justin's like a good buddy of mine. So I mean it was definitely I think it was definitely big like having like another like guy that I think it was definitely big like having like another like just someone else going around these national tournaments with me, because it's a big commitment. Like not everyone's gonna do it. So I think it just shows you that if you just put in the work and you go around, you wrestle as much as you can, you're gonna get there. So
Yeah, and talk more about like what made you and Vine so good, because you're two different wrestlers, but you both like did the same kind of stuff around the same time. Like,
I mean like at the national, like at Virginia Beach, like he'd win, and then I'd be like, "Oh, Justin won. I can't lose this match. Like I gotta win." So, it was kind of like a friendly competition. I like to think of it like, I think we kind of just like made each other better, trying to outdo each other, and it definitely, I mean, it definitely paid off, and yeah.
yeah, I actually know firsthand how good Justin is. I actually wrestled him like years back while we were all in high school.
Yeah, Justin was a beast, man.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
It's just Long Island in general. Like, yeah, there's some sections upstate that are good, but Long Island, you guys have been like the king of New York for like so long. Even still
I mean,
now, it's like
usually it's like Section 11, like Suffolk County usually wins, and I feel like it's usually second. It's usually like a battle between like Nassau County and like maybe like Section 5 or something like that, or Section 1. Section 1's pretty tough too. But usually Suffolk has a lot of star power. And when I was on like the states teams, every year we'd be like, all right, the last time we beat Suffolk and won the state tournament was 1987. This is the year we're gonna do it. And I'd always like we had like some pretty stacked teams, and I always thought we were gonna like outdo Suffolk and finally win the tournament. But I mean, Suffolk would always just bring some heavy hitters, and I mean, I thought it was funny that after I graduated, like I think 2020, we finally like dethroned Suffolk and won the tournament. So, but I don't know. I always thought that we were this is the year we're gonna do it this year, and just we never got to do it when I was on the team, unfortunately. But I'm glad we were finally able to punch through and do it. But Long Island's definitely it's kind of grown into a powerhouse of wrestling. So
yeah, and even aside from the team tournament itself, just the history of Long Island wrestling, like there wouldn't be an Ohio State without Tom Ryan, and he's from Long
that's
Island.
true.
So, I mean,
That's true. Yeah, Tom Ryan came from Wantagh, the '80s.
Yeah.
So that's I like how you know that. Not everyone knows that. So
yeah. Did you ever get to meet him? Did he ever come back? And
Tom would do he's done a couple like summer camps, because I'm not sure if we still do it, but we used to have like Wantagh summer camps in like around August. So he's come back and run a couple of those. He's never like specifically recruited me, but I remember we had Jose Rodriguez, who was very tough. And he wrestled for us in 2012, and he was a state finalist for us. And he ended up going to Ohio like the year after, but he ended up wrestling for Ohio State. So I'm sure that Wantagh connection kind of helped things out when he was trying to recruit Jose.
and just who he is as a coach. Like the one example I can give is Coach Papadatos, who's the head coach of Hofstra, he's from Nassau County, and he never placed the counties, so he never even sniffed the state tournament. But then he goes to Hofstra under Tom Ryan, and he's a 2-time NCAA qualifier. That's that's rare that something like that happens.
Yeah, I think it just shows that you don't need to be the best wrestler to be a great coach. I mean, yeah. I don't know. You don't have to be the best wrestler to be like an effective coach. I think Dennis has proved that, and he's doing a really good job at Hofstra and just kind of rebuilt that program in a pretty powerful way. So I think he's doing a great job there. But I think it's actually pretty cool that I never knew that he wrestled for Tom Ryan.
Yeah, he was there at Hofstra when Tom Ryan was coaching, and actually my coach at Centenary, he actually was teammates with him and stuff.
Oh, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah. But like what Tom Ryan was able to do, like he took a guy that, wasn't that good and then made him compete with everybody else in the country. It's pretty cool.
Yo, what up?
This you met Brendan.
I met him.
Yeah.
We met? When did we meet?
MSJ.
Final X.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up? Oh, actually, hey, I met a bunch of people. I don't remember.
Play Smash. I told you I'd freestyle you.
The Smash trash talk.
Oh yeah. No, he can't beat me. If I pick Link, he's not beating me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh shit. So yeah, he asked me.
Yeah, we were Dennis and wrestling for Tom Ryan. Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. But like, just who Tom Ryan is as a coach, the way he thinks, the way he coaches people, it's insane how great of a coach he is. Like, he produces.
Oh yeah, he's. I mean, I don't think anyone's better than Mike Ray here at Cornell, but Tom's a pretty damn good coach, and I mean, you look back to his years at Hofstra, and Hofstra was a powerhouse. And I mean, he's kind of Ohio State. They've been really tough for like every year, basically. So I mean, Tom Ryan's he's a beast, and the Wantagh community is definitely pretty proud of him. So.
Now, getting back to Long Island as a whole, I've been in some Long Island rooms. I've been at tournaments with Long Island guys. Obviously, I'm friends with some Long Island wrestlers, you and most notably Sal Jones, right?
Yeah.
And just the mindset you guys have when you're like, when I first went to Long Island, first time ever for a tournament, it looked completely different than New York City. Not the way it looked. I'm talking about like the expressions on you guys' faces, the way you guys are wrestling. It's like, this is some different stuff.
I mean, I haven't been able to like recognize like a difference from our faces or like, I don't know. I feel like maybe the sport's growing a little faster, or maybe I don't know. Maybe the sport's a little bit bigger on Long Island, and it's like just starting to like grow now in the city. But I mean, in Long Island, it's been around for a long time, and I mean, it's one of our, I don't know, it's like one of our bigger sports, I think. But well, I mean, compared to like the rest of the state, you like. Long Island's where like a ton of wrestlers on Long Island. It's like a ton of people. So I mean, it's a good place to open up a club. But I think maybe the city wrestling. I feel like wrestling in the city is kind of like it's just starting to gain a little more traction than it was like in previous years.
Yeah, it definitely is. But the thing is like I'm wondering, because I might get some heat for this, but the guys that beat the streets over there as the coaches, they've said, they're not much better than us. We could compete with them. But I'm kind of thinking, why don't we just like hook up with them? Like how come we don't do more clinics with them? How come we don't?
Yeah.
Like,
I think if you're in the city, I think that's honestly a great idea. Like, I think it's on a lot of it's up to you, like as an individual or person. You got to make the effort to come out to places like Vogar's or like some other great clubs on Long Island. And I think if you're willing to travel and like get out and wrestle in these clubs and put in the work, I think that's a great idea. but also I think I mean your coach is telling you the right thing. I mean you should like believe that you can beat everyone. So I don't think that. I mean Pennsylvania is a good like wrestling state, but I'm never like worried to wrestle a guy from Pennsylvania because the state's good. Like I guess it just comes down to the individual.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the mindset in the city. A lot of us, when we go to Long Island, we get a little scared. Oh, I got to wrestle this guy. I got to wrestle that guy. Oh, of course, I lost to Jonathan Loew. He is who he is. But it's like, we gotta wrestle.
Yeah, no, yeah, it just comes down to you got to have confidence in yourself, and I mean, just because a guy comes from this area doesn't mean he's great. Like, everyone's their own person. Like, I mean, I guess it definitely helps like being from like somewhere which is like known for wrestling, but it comes down to who the person is as an individual and how they compete as like an individual. It's an individual sport. It's not really a team sport. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually a good segue because now I want to talk about Savage Wrestling because we had a guy from NYC that trained there for a bit and he wound up taking third at states and now he's going to head to Ithaca College. But I saw basically that the beginnings of Savage becoming a big club started with you and Sal Jones. So talk about that.
I mean, it was definitely cool. Like, we put in a lot of work with Coach Accordino, and especially in high school, and I thought it was really cool seeing his club grow from like just a few people to like eventually him getting out his own space, and now he's having us back over to do like clinics, and it's a ton of like it's cool looking at their Instagram story and just seeing how packed the room is, and they're just scrapping to get after it. I think it's pretty special. And he's grown like fast. Like, I mean, when you really started like 2017, 2018 and 2022, and I think he's talking about like getting another spot too, like another, like he wants more space because it's growing so fast. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's definitely been pretty special to watch my coach have a lot of success and grow his club out.
Yes, yeah, it definitely is. And it's a really great club and it looks like a great place to train.
No, yeah, I mean, he's Justin he really knows what he's doing. He's All-American. He's beat like Frank Molinaro before. He's wrestled like he's from Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure he's wrestled like JO a bunch of times when they were like younger. So he's like been around the sport so much, and he's like has such like a high wrestling IQ. He really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. And a lot of his guys, they produce.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best like selling point if you're a coach and you're trying to get more guys over to your club. If you have like a bunch of killers who they go out and they win the states every year, and just from top to bottom, you just have guys that are producing. I think it definitely helps if you're trying to get some more guys over to your club.
Yeah,
he has recently.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Virginia Beach, NHSCA. You're our senior year, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I think you broke your foot or something. You had a really bad injury, but then you still won the national title.
I think it
What
was.
happened?
I don't think it was my foot. I think it was like something on my finger, but it wasn't like a bad injury. I mean, you kind of get like picked up here and there. But I don't know. I always like Virginia Beach. It was never like it's not as tough as like Fargo or Super 32, but I really liked it just because I went there like every year and got better, like a little bit better every year. So like when I was a freshman, I went there, and I think I went like 2-2 or 3-2, and then sophomore I lost the blood round, and then when I was a junior I took fourth, and then I won it when I was a senior. So I like looking back on it, that's what I'm most proud of, like how I kind of just like jumped up a level
Right.
every year, and I'm hoping to do the same thing with the NCAA tournament. So I mean, we'll see about that. So, but I always liked. I mean, it was besides that, it was always just like a fun tournament to go to with your squad, and you go down there and you kind of like hang out on the beach and you wrestle. And I don't know. I guess that was also in the era of like you weigh in once and then the rest of the week you can't not make weight anymore. That was also like another thing that I look back on fondly about. So,
Cool.
But I mean, there was definitely there was some good competition there. I thought it was funny. The guy that I wrestled in the blood round of the NCAA tournament this year, he was the guy who I wrestled in the finals of Virginia Beach my senior year. So,
wow.
Yeah, so he probably hates me. But I mean, you never know. Like the guys that you're wrestling at these tournaments, you never know if you're going to see them down the road. It could be for the biggest match of your life. So who knows?
Yeah. And how many state titles do you have? One, two?
Just one, just
Just
one.
one. Wow.
Yep, yep. So yeah, it took me to my senior year, but I was finally able to do it.
Yeah, people
So
would think someone like you would have like three.
no, it's I guess I was like somewhat of a late bloomer, but I mean, you get to college and it's like kind of wild that some guys are like, oh, I won states like 4 times or I won prep nationals like all the time. So and it was just me with like one state title from New York.
Yeah,
But
but then
I'm proud of it. I worked hard for it. So it
yep,
was a long like bumpy road. So
yeah. But then
yeah.
there's plenty of guys that go into college, they got all these high school accolades and some of them bust, they don't do as well.
Yeah, I mean everyone's like journey is a little different. I think I kind of just like I guess I like to say late bloomer, like I kind of just like started to develop and hit my stride like in my later years of high school. And maybe some of these other guys, they're kind of like maybe a little bit more mature or maybe like more in love with the sport when they're in high school and then they get to college. And I mean things change, like you got like schoolwork and I don't know, it's a little bit more different to um like manage your time. So who knows? But I mean everyone's different. So
Yeah, definitely. So what made you choose to go to Cornell?
so I know like Vito it's he was going here, and also Yanni, and those were like two guys like I'd always work out with Vito at VHW at Bogart's Club, and Yanni would also come down there a bunch of times, and I felt comfortable with those guys. And I also thought that out of everyone who was like looking at me, Cornell was probably the best. I mean, they had the best wrestling, and they also had the best academics. So I was like, if I want to be the best like student I want to be and the best wrestler I want to be, this is the place to go. So I mean, it was an easy decision for me.
Cool. So we actually got like short time on the meeting, but if it ends abruptly, I'll just start another one. We'll continue.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna spend money when I don't have to. All right, so now you're going to Cornell, and I saw a video. I think it was your freshman year there. I don't know if you were in the video. They just showed a bunch of people, but I think they call it in football. It's called Hell Week. I don't know what they call it there, but basically the first week they showed some guys puking. They showed Rob.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there for that. Yeah.
So talk about that. Is it really as hard as they made it look in the video?
I mean, for our first practice of the season, we try to make it like kind of like an event, and we just try to make it a tough one. Like we'll go in, we'll get some hard drilling in, and we'll scrap it out for a pretty long time, and then we'll hit the conditioning pretty hard. So it's one of the harder practices in the season. But I mean, it's a fun one. Sometimes we do like a grind match, which is like my freshman year. I'm not sure if this was the first practice or if it was like my first like off-season practice, but I had to do like a 30-minute grind match with Max Dean, and I think that was my first preseason practice, but it was not fun. It was like on my back for like the last 8 minutes of the go. Not
Oh,
fun at
wow.
all. But like last year for our first practice, I'm pretty sure we had to do like I think we also had like another 30-minute grind match. So just like grabbed Foca and was scrapping it out with him. So we try to make it a tough one on the first day. So who knows what's in store this year. So
Now let me ask about the stadium runs. Or
stadiums,
stadium
yeah,
workouts.
stadiums
Are they
they're
necessary?
trash.
Are they yeah.
I don't know. I think last year I kind of like I tore my meniscus last year, so I was like recovering, and I wasn't able to wrestle until like the middle of September. So even when I did come back, they were like in the middle of preseason. But I mean, I wasn't gonna run because I was just coming off of surgery on my knee. So I just did circuits in the back, and honestly, I felt fresh and I felt ready to go. But I think I mean I'm doing preseason again this year now because I'm not right off of knee surgery, and I think it's just good to make you tough, and it just mentally makes you tougher. I think it's like it's a mental exercise as much as it is a physical one. So But I mean, that being said, stadiums do, they suck so much.
They look like it.
But yeah.
And there's that other thing that Sal was telling me about, where you guys got to pick up a plate, and you're running well, you're not going to run full speed, obviously, but you're going like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 miles with it. You can't stop.
I didn't have to do this, but some of the frog classes had to do this.
And
And
Sal was one of them.
I think Sal was one of them.
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, I didn't have to do it, thank God. But some of the frogs, it kind of, I mean, some guys they get hit with it, some guys don't have to do it, but yeah, they have to carry a 45-pound plate, and they have to run like 3 or 4 miles with it. And it's trash from what I heard. I heard just like scrapes against your neck as you carry it. But thank God I didn't have to do that.
Honestly, I might just hold it like this, and then when I get tired, squeeze it.
You probably got to switch your grip around a little bit, because it's gonna, I mean,
Yeah.
Straight overhead's gonna get you tired. If you kind of like rest on your neck, it's gonna scrape your neck up. So there's you probably have to rotate between a few different ways, but I mean, I never had to do that, so thank God it's not one of my problems that I have to deal with.
And there's another run I just saw. It's called Buffalo Street or something. I think
Yeah,
I saw
Buffalo
Sal
Street.
doing this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another tough one. We run down to like a pretty steep street down, and we got to run all the way down, and then we run the whole thing. We do one full one, and then we got to do, I think we did like 9 like sprints at like the halfway mark, and it's really steep. It gets really steep as you're going up there. And on the last one, they just tell you, all right, just run back to Friedman and try not to stop. So it's that's a killer one too.
Now, what happens if someone stops during these things?
I mean that's what you have your teammates there for, to pick you up, and it's like, hey, come on, suck it up. Like, you got to keep going, don't stop. So, I mean, because coaches, they're not going to be able to like run with you and follow you. Like, they kind of have to put a little like trust in you to do the workout right and to get the most out of it. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
And all this is necessary to keep your conditioning up when you have those hard matches in March.
Yeah, conditioning, and just like keep your mental strength up. Like when you're in overtime and you feel like quitting, I can think back to running Buffalo Street and doing stadiums. So
Right. Stadiums, man. Oh man.
yeah.
Well, so I want to ask about like the conditioning you guys do and stuff like that. You know, it's a top-notch Division I room. Like, who's some of the hardest workers in there? And not just like Yanni and those guys. We know they're as good as they are. Of course, they work
I feel
hard.
like Sal might have said this, but like Dom Lajoie is pretty tough.
Yeah, he said that. Talk
trying
more
to think
about Dom.
Dom's he's a beast, bro. He's he doesn't get tired. So yeah, he's like a big leader in the room, and he's always demanding the most out of everyone, and he gets after in the conditioning, man.
Yeah, I can see that like when he's wrestling, like just the grit, no pun intended, just like on his face. And I see it when he's wrestling. It's like he's gritting his teeth and all that.
Yeah,
It's
man,
like,
he's a little pit bull, yeah.
I see it. And
He's
that's
tough.
it's good. That's great to have, you know.
Yeah. He's like a Spartan.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that.
I hope he could All American this year. I want to see
Oh,
that.
I mean, he's been to the he's been to the big show, so I think it definitely helps being able to wrestle in the tournament once. So I think he's going to be ready to get after it once we start the season this year. So we're ready.
All right, cool. So now we got done talking about the workouts you guys do, and I mean, hey, Division I college wrestling, everybody's working hard, right? So,
Yeah.
something I want to ask is, have you wrestled anybody from any other divisions, like D2, D3, NAIA, and can you compare like the divisions, the level of competition?
I think I wrestled a couple like guys from other divisions. I can't tell you like which specifically, but I'm pretty sure I have probably like some of the tournaments, like the open tournaments, specifically when I was a frog. But I think just if you're a college wrestler, I think like you're gonna be tough no matter what. Like anyone who still wants to wrestle after high school, they're gonna be it's a tough sport, and I think you're gonna be tough no matter what. So I think some of these maybe some of the Division I schools, they have a little bit more like resources to like get like really good coaches and tough staff and guys who've like wrestled in the NCAA tournament and placed before, or maybe like guys who have like world accolades. But I think really the mentality is kind of the same. D1, D2, D3. Like it's you gotta be tough, and you gotta be just a killer to wrestle in college. So that's really all I have to say about the difference in between the divisions.
Mm. All right, so now let's talk about like you're at Cornell and you're projected to do pretty well. Like how has it been going before you All American? Like how were you thinking? How were things going? Like what was your record kind of?
So my frog year, I kind of came in, and that was like frog year for anyone. I'm pretty sure Sal's explained it. Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So frog,
basically a prep year.
yeah. So my frog year, that was kind of just like figuring out like living up like without my parents, like living with like a bunch of other guys, and kind of like like washing my own clothes. Like I was kind of like that, and from like a competing standpoint, just like getting used to like what wrestling in college is like, and physicality of it, and like people, they really try not to concede like any points whatsoever. Like it's a whole different ball game from high school. Like high school, you go out and kind of just beat up on guys, like you tech them, pin them like for most of your matches, and then you'll have like a select few which are tough in the season. College is just like every match is tough. Like even the ones that you like beat the guys up and you got to work for that. Like it's everything is tough in college. So nothing's easy. So that was my frog year. The year after that, which was my freshman year, kind of the same stuff, except I'm wrestling a little bit like steeper competition, like nationally ranked guys. And probably I'd say like dealing with nerves, because that was like I was in the lineup that year, and we had some big duels. So probably like managing my nerves. And then after that, we had COVID shut everything down. It would have been cool to wrestle in NCAAs that year, but I qualified, and COVID kind of shut everything down. COVID year was, I mean, we kind of just tried to make things happen, and like we did all these like cool RTC cards, and we wrestled at like in like Philadelphia with like UPenn guys, and we did like all these unofficial like RTC cards, and I mean, it was kind of just like, I think this year was pretty cool. The COVID year was pretty cool just because I was able to like wrestle with like the RTC guys way more. Like you wrestle with Kyle and Gabe and a couple other like Yanni and like all the guys that are like RTC guys, the freestyle guys, like you wrestle with them and they're all going at one time. And I think that was like pretty special. And it wasn't as many people, it was more of just like a handful of guys like working out in the room for that year. And I think one of the bigger matches I had that year, I wrestled Brett Farr from Minnesota, and I want to say he graduated in like 2017, so he's a little bit older. But I wrestled him at 86 kilos in like I think a tournament in like North Carolina, and I ended up beating him, and that was like a big one for my confidence, because I was like, wow, that guy took in the country at 197 in 2017. So if I could like not only hang in there with that guy, but beat that guy, like I think I can do some damage next year at 184. So I think just that, and like all the competition that I got, I think it was good for my confidence, because it would have been easy to just say, oh, the season's canceled, let me just train and we'll get him next year. But no, like we tried to get our matches in, and we were practicing, and we weren't just training for nothing. Like we went to the last chance Olympic qualifiers. So I didn't get as many matches as I would in like a season, but I still got like some quality matches in there. And I think that was like a big year of like gaining confidence. And then I tore my knee, my meniscus, and I spent last summer recovering that. And then I came in like the middle of September last year, and I felt like confident from all of the matches that I got, but I also felt like pretty like rested and like ready. I felt fresh, like I was ready to go. It's like let's do this. So and then this year for this past year that just happened. I mean, I knew I was going to be, I mean, no like boards had me projected to be All-American, but I knew in my head that I was right up there with the best guys. And the whole season, I had a lot of help from my coaches, probably like Donnie and Gwiz in particular. But we like the whole season we'd like compete, and then we'd have to like tweak a very like small thing, and like it would just be this whole like repetitive process of compete, and then all right, what did I do wrong here? Break down the videotape, and then like tweak it a little bit and like fix up what I'm doing wrong. And it was just a bunch of these minor little adjustments. And towards the end when we had NCAA's, felt like I was ready to go. And I think a lot of the adjustments and work that we put in over the season paid off.
Hey, right on. And then going into NCAAs this past season, how did it feel to hold that trophy in your hand?
Well, to hold it was crazy, but like it felt like so surreal. But I think the craziest thing for me was like I was holding it, I was like, damn, like my name's gonna be up in like the Cornell banners of like Yanni and like Kyle and like all of, like these guys, like I'm gonna be up there. Which is like I'm gonna be able to go to a match in 10 years and be in the crowd and be like, I'm up there. Like I did that. So I think that was what was most special for me. It was also really special because I mean you didn't really like see your family or your friends the whole time. Like you're kind of down in the tunnels with your teammates and like your coaches. And after the tournament, like I finally was able to go up and like see my parents and my friends. And I thought they were my friends like and my teammates who weren't competing. And I thought that was like a really special moment. I like seeing them for the first time that weekend. But no, it was probably the best feeling I've ever had. Just like winning that match and making All-American, and then everything after that. And I was ready to do it again. So,
Right. So then afterwards, remind me, did you qualify for any world teams or anything?
no, I didn't do any. I didn't go to any. I didn't go to like the U.S. Open or anything. I went to U23s, the qualifiers for that, and I took fourth. But there were a couple guys that I think I could have beaten. I could have done a little bit better in that tournament, but I took fourth. But I mean, it's still an improvement because I went there in 2019 and I took eighth. So, I mean, I took fourth now this year. So, I mean, hopefully next year I'll go back and I'll win the damn thing. So, I went there and took fourth, and I mean that's a tough tournament. Just keeping my my competition steady and keep getting my matches, and then I had the opportunity to go to Israel, and it wasn't like world tournament. It was the Maccabi games. So I got the opportunity to go over there, and awesome like 3-week trip, and I got to see all over Israel, and got to wrestle a bunch of tough guys there, and that was a great experience for this summer too. And I wrestled one guy in Greco freestyle, and then also for the beach, and he was tough. He's their world rep at 86 kilos, and afterwards we traded singlets. So I got the Israel singlet now. It's pretty cool. But that was a great experience.
Cool. I bet it was. So now next year, I know you're gonna obviously get to nationals. I don't know how the automatic qualification thing works. Like if you're All-American, do you automatically get in or?
No, I mean nothing's given. It's kind of I still really don't even know how any of like the qualification stuff works for college, honestly. I just gotta come out firing and rack up the wins over like ranked guys and place high in tournaments like Vegas. And I know I gotta just keep pounding and beat these guys, and hopefully once I mean I'm not really relying on automatic pick. Like I'm ready to go in to EIWEs like I did last year and kind of just smoke everyone and blow through everyone and keep that momentum going. I think that momentum was huge, like where I was at from EIWAs to carry it over into NCAAs. So I'm looking to get hot at the right time again and keep my momentum going and be ready for NCAAs.
All right. And I also saw the schedule. So January 29th, you guys are going to come to New York City. And you're going to duel Columbia at Columbia, which is in Manhattan.
Yep.
I don't know if I should go or not because it's like I live there. This is where I live, but I
Yeah.
got friends at Cornell. I got some friends at Columbia. I got some friends at Cornell. So it's like I'm literally gonna be like in between, like, who do I root for?
Yeah, I would say just go. It's gonna be some good wrestling, so it's a win-win automatically. So I would say to go. It's gonna be a fun one. I mean, we're kind of traveling a lot this season. I think we only have like four home duels. So I think it's exciting though. I mean, like wrestling will show you all over the country, and I mean, it's brought me to Israel, so it's brought me to another country. So I think I'm excited to travel, and even if I gotta like make weight and wrestle, I think it'll still be fun to travel around. So I'm trying to keep a positive mindset about all the travel we're gonna do this season.
How do you manage cutting weight and traveling really far? Because Nationals next season is going to be in Tulsa. So, I mean, I would hate to be starving, or not really starving, but like not completely full when I got to get on the plane, go all the way down south. Like,
It definitely. I think just like I mean, I'm not really one for like I hate flying and like the whole process of that, but it definitely sucks when you got to watch your weight and then you got to go on a plane and then you got to like get out and get in a van and go to the hotel and like check in. Like it's like just a whole bunch of stuff that you got to do. But I mean, you kind of just gotta like remain strong and just get through it. And um, I think it'll be. I think honestly, all of like the like traveling problems that I've had like from like previous years, like I think I'm more used to it this time around. Like, I mean, I just had like an 11-hour flight to Israel. Like that was if I could do that, I could do like a 4-hour flight, 5-hour flight to Vegas. Like that won't be too hard. So
yeah. Yeah, people tell me going from the Bronx to Staten Island is a big deal. I'm looking at them like, guys, it's not that big of a deal.
yeah.
Because I go down there to practice, like, because you have a choice. Like, you got five boroughs.
How far would you say that is? Like how far of a drive or
So I don't drive public transport. So that's usually I
how
go
long?
deep in Staten Island, 3 hours.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, and people are like, yeah, like, what are you doing? That's crazy. I'm like, look, I mean, I gotta go where the best wrestling is at,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I mean, I don't mind going 2 hours to Brooklyn or 3 hours to, But I've trained in the Bronx, I've trained in Manhattan, I've trained everywhere. It's just a matter of, I want to train everywhere, like kind of like you guys are doing. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Sal said he would do like 3 practices a day sometimes. He'd go to Volgars and he'd go to Savage. So, I mean,
Mhm.
you gotta travel sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. You got to seek out the best competition and the best wrestling, and that's just how it is. So
Yeah, that's right. Now, one last thing I want to ask: that house, you got Furman and you
yeah,
got Lajoie. I never met Lajoie. I thought he was going to be at Final X, but I guess he didn't want to make the trip from Michigan all the way over here.
yeah,
But Furman was there, and yeah, he was acting really like funny. He's just a
he's a
hilarious
funny dude.
person.
He's
It's
a
hilarious.
prankster. Yeah,
I don't want to get any strikes from YouTube, so I'm not gonna, repeat anything that he did. But he's a funny guy. But that him, you, and LaJoy in the same room, like that should be a show on MTV or something. Like, how is it being in there with them?
I think honestly, if I did do like a YouTube vlog, and I'm not the best with the editing, but I think if I did do a vlog, like people would be pretty interested, like just like what we talk about or like what we go through in a day. It's honestly pretty funny stuff. Like, um, I mean, one of the shows that I watch, do you know like Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I
It's
saw that you watch it. I've heard of it. I just
Larry
never
David.
watched it.
It's like so many like parts in my life where I'm like, that is like a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Like that's a Larry David episode right there.
Oh wow.
It's it's pretty funny. Like Furman's definitely he's quite the prankster. So when I was younger, like when I first got here, I was like not used to it and I didn't really like his pranks, but kind of like lean into them a little bit and kind of prank them back and you get good at it yourself and it becomes pretty fun. So
Or he's a prankster. Oh man.
I was a prankster, man. Yeah. You
Uh,
name it, he's done it before. So
uh, so I want to ask now. All right, I guess this will be like kind of the last one. Who's your favorite Cornell wrestler? And I don't mean in terms of accolades or anything, just like out of the Cornell wrestlers that you know personally. I'll tell you my favorite is LaJoy, honestly, just because I see a lot of myself in him. And just we have kind of the same attitude, which is we'll do crazy stuff to work extremely hard, but in our mind, we know that's gonna get us better. So that's why I think he's my favorite. But who's your favorite?
Man, this is tough. Can I do a couple maybe?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'd probably go like I would go I think just Furman and my other like longtime roommate Andrew Berryessa. And you could also throw Hunter Richard into the mix. Because we just like lived together. Andy and Hunter just graduated. But
Yeah.
those three guys we've lived with each other like forever, it feels like. And I mean those guys are like my brothers, dude. So like I've been to Furman and Andy's, they both just had their weddings. So I went to both their weddings in the past month. So I mean I'm just closest with those guys, and I'd probably have to say them. So
Cool. And actually met Andy at Final X. This dude is big. He looks short on flow, but like I walked up to him and it's like I'm looking at his shoulder. I wasn't even looking at his face. Like his arms are so big. Like,
that's the Greco, man. He's a beast.
And he's tall. Like he's way taller than me. I thought he was short. I thought he was gonna be short, but he's tall. Like he's tall and big. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's also got a sense of humor, and he's also gonna be quite the prankster. So when him and Furman are together, it's like it's game over. Like you're
really wow. I know Andy's Twitter is pretty entertaining.
No, yeah, his Twitter's funny. I don't have a Twitter, so I don't have a Twitter account, but I mean I've seen some of the shenanigans that he does. So
one thing he said when the XFL was going on before the pandemic happened, he said the XFL is better than the NFL. Right? Like, I wonder the amount of heat he got for saying that.
He definitely had some other controversial stuff like that. So, he's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, Cornell is definitely it seems like a cool place to be. You guys are definitely passionate about your team. The fans are real passionate,
Special culture here between like what you have with coaching and the team and the alumni and the fans. It's definitely the spot to be. So.
Yeah, definitely Big Red. Yeah, it's a big deal. And like everybody in New York City, they wanted to go to Cornell when they saw Nashawn Garrett win the national title.
And also Nashawn, I think he came from Compton, right?
Yeah.
So I mean he was in like a city, and I think it's pretty inspirational if when someone comes from like a certain background and like they made it to the top, like it's definitely it's very inspirational. So
yeah, definitely.
I think that's big, like what you said, for a lot of the city guys really wanted to come to Cornell after that. So
yeah. And the thing is, like that kid that trains he trained at Savage for a while and he took third at states. Now he's going D3, I mean, look, like you said, wrestling, if you wrestle in college, you're going to be tough. You're going to be like a man. Like it makes you into a man. But I mean, I think more guys in New York City should try to go D1.
I think like a lot of the guys that were, exactly. Like what you said, they should try to go D1. But I think, it all starts with like work ethic and like what you're doing, and you gotta put in the work. And like if you get like these accolades, then you'll have a lot of these colleges like on your tail. But I think they should do what your friend was doing and say he took third in the state, and what was he doing? He was like traveling all these places and trying to wrestle. And I think they should try and follow in his footsteps, and that's how they're gonna get to these places. So
yeah. All right. So you got any last things to say, or?
I thought it was I had a good time being on here, and had a good time talking with you, Julius.
Yeah, of course.
I liked going back to talking my Long Island and Waldorf roots too. So I had a good time on here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And like you said, I know Dom's probably back there somewhere. You gotta tell him about it. We gotta get Dom on here.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll loop him in with you one week.
Yeah. Oh, one thing me and Sal were talking about before we go. He kind of said it'd be like really great to see me and him go at it. Now I'm not saying I'm anywhere near where Dom is at, but just the work ethic, and we both don't get tired, and we both just keep going, and we'll both do crazy stuff, like how you guys see me getting up at like 1 a.m. to go run
Yeah.
middle of nowhere and stuff. I'm pretty sure Dom does stuff like that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I like to see us go at it.
Like, you'd definitely love to pick his brain for sure. So
Yeah.
we'll see if we could get him in contact with you.
If I get him on here, I'm taking notes.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So thanks for having me on, John. Always great
Thank you so
talking to you.
much, Julius. Thank you.